guys. I just want to narrate this story of what happened to me a few days ago. There's this lady who was introduced to me by a friend of mine, and that's how we actually got into a relationship. So we started going out, everything was just okay. We've been in a relationship for some time now. I used to take her to so many different places. I would go to Pamo's Hotel, I would take her to Samfia, I would take her to the Kariba, anywhere. Talk of any place in Zambia, okay? The only thing that I never did was to take her abroad. So our relationship was just rosy, everything was sugar, until a day when I saw a car, it was a Makex. Yeah, I saw a Makex car parked outside my gate, all right? Where I stay, there's some bit of security and all that, so someone cannot just come into the compound without making an appointment. So I saw a car parked outside. Then, of course, those people who were parked outside had no appointment to come into the compound, so no one opened for them because you need to use a remote for you to come into the compound. Then later on, a neighbor was actually driving out. So that same neighbor of mine is the one who opened the gate so that he can go out. So that was the time when I saw that Mark X also coming in. Then later on, I realized there were other 4 cars that were parked a bit far, so they also came in. Okay, so now there were 5 cars in the compound. So the compound was filled with a lot of cars because where I stay, there's already a number of cars, so everyone has a car and all that. So I said, oh my gosh, what is happening? Because this has never happened, that we have plenty of cars at once in the compound. So I saw 2 men coming out of a Mark X, that car that was parked near the gate. So I saw those 2 men coming out of a Mark X, and then they were talking to my neighbor who was about to drive out. They were asking him which one was my apartment and all that. So my neighbor said, oh, sure. Then he got scared because my neighbor also saw it to be strange that people can just drive into the compound without any appointment. Okay, so he was dilly-dallying there. He could not just direct them to where I was staying. So I was also very curious and I wanted to know what was going on. So that's how I actually came from up, because my apartment is up. I came down just to meet them, okay, so that I can also find out what was happening. So as I was coming out, I overheard one giant of a man talking to my neighbor saying, there's a gentleman here who has been going out with my wife for a long time, and I have all the videos, I have the evidence. People have been sending, oh my gosh, this is something that I will never forget. Okay, so as I was coming out, I overheard him talking about me, mentioning my name, and I could not go back because I was already close to where they were. So what happens next? The moment I tried to make a U-turn to go back into the house, the other gentleman saw me. Then he said, oh, that's him. This is the gentleman we are looking for. Immediately, I saw that woman being dragged out of the car. The same woman that I was going out with. Guys, certain things, oh my gosh, that was the day I smelled death. So that woman came out and I was like, oh my gosh, so this is true. This is the same woman I'm going out with, and this is the same woman this man is talking about. So I tried to run up. From the other 4 cars, I saw a lot of guys, including some women. Some of them were really looking very scruffy. They came out and they said, this is the guy who is disturbing our relatives' peace. And some of them were saying, yes, we know, Bashim Tale has been a very good man, but how can this woman betray this man? They started shouting, making noise in the neighborhood. Everyone realized that there's something happening in this compound. That's how people came, Now, when they just came out of the cars, they ran to where I was. So I ran upstairs. Guys, the moment I got into the house, they also came near the door. Now I locked the door because it was really dangerous. The guys had some stuff to use, like they were ready to kill me. Okay, so that's how I locked the door, went inside the house. Then they tried to break the door. So the door was broken somehow, but where they broke, they could not pass. The blockage was, too small. So some of them said, no, the door is too hard. Let's go through the window. So some of the guys passed through, the window, and then they started breaking the window. That's how the window, fell. The whole window fell, like everyone could pass now. So the guys said, yeah, we found where to pass. So they were all coming to the window and they entered. They came inside. Guys, these guys were ready to kill. They said, we are not going to spare him because the courts of Zambia are not going to arrest this guy. What they'll do is they'll just, charge him and all that with all what he's doing. So it's best we just do what we call mob justice. So they were ready to kill, and I could even smell death. Guys, just when the guys were about to raise their machetes, all the elements they had, just when they were about to drop them on me, guys, that's how I actually walk out of sleep, guys, some dreams are bad. Some dreams are bad. So I woke up and I said, oh my gosh, so this is just a dream. I will never do it in real life. This is really, really very bad. Guys, that's how I survived. So from that day, I'm not sleeping. That's why you see my eyes are still brown. I'm scared. I might just bump into that same dream, guys. It's very dangerous, okay?